Yeah, no worries.
Obviously, there didn't seem to be anyone in the chat yet, so we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, new additions and moving around is a pain in the arse.
Yeah. It always seems a good idea at the time, and then you do it, and a bit like me now, I'm halfway through it and regretting every minute of it. But hey ho, all part of the
Yeah,
job. But
unfortunately, that's what happens when you decide that you're gonna, have all of these sorts of animals and stuff.
yeah,
And somehow you still make room for them all.
yeah. Even if like you stuck on top of others, isn't it? You're like, I'll get these in if it kills me. Like,
just about opening the door enough so that you can squeeze yourself through, and it's like, yeah,
but
I
that's all
will
you
get
need,
in.
like tiny little. We don't need no fire exits.
There'd only be a
Your
fire
room's
anyway.
your
Too
room's
many pubs
downstairs,
going.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, we live in a bungalow.
Oh yeah, you ain't got stairs. Do you miss
No,
going upstairs?
um, sometimes it feels strange though. I mean, obviously we've got a couple of steps in the front door, if that counts. Um,
No.
oh, okay. But no, I mean, generally I don't, because sometimes you're upstairs, up and downstairs at work. So by the
Oh,
time you
okay,
get
yeah.
in, yeah, by the time you get in, it's sort of like one of those things. All right, and he's gone. See what happens if he comes back. Mm.
That was my
Hey.
fault. I went and plugged the charger in and hit the middle button. Yeah, I think I'd quite like to live in a well, I'd like to have everything on one level.
It does make things a bit easier, like carrying things around and stuff. I mean, you don't have to lump
Cool.
tanks upstairs and downstairs. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to do it. I lived in a shared house, and my room was upstairs, and everything that I had, big 4-foot tanks and stuff, everything went up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then I moved from that to like a masonette flat, which was upstairs as well. It was an upstairs downstairs flat.
Mm.
Everything had to go up a little tiny stairwell. Trying to get things in there was an absolute nightmare. You had to sort of pass it up and over the side of the banister and like bend it over it
Oh
and bring it in
no.
through the front door. Because a lot of the stuff you couldn't even stand up on its end to then turn round. And
Yeah. Well, our stairs, they sort of you go up a bit and then it turns and it goes up a bit more and then it turns again. So trying to get a viv around there, it's like you got to stand it up, turn it round, push it back. Oh, it's a nightmare. But is what it is. Right, let me see. If I do this, will it close?
well, you're
I didn't
sideways
think it
and
had.
frozen.
Right, I'm just going to share it a minute. There we go. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think she shared something earlier as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rack next to me just needs a good sort out. like I've got tanks everywhere. I've got my one that I've like built sat behind the laptop at the minute. It's but it's all a mess everywhere.
It's like this at the minute. I wish I never started now, but you know, it's a bit late for that.
I know. Well, I was going to do it last weekend, but obviously we had Scott down, so most of the weekend was sort of wrote off.
Wrote off.
Well, obviously I had to try and get it reasonably tidy for someone to come and visit it.
Yeah. There's another live going on.
Yeah, Raggy's live, isn't it?
Yeah. Christ, there's 32 in there. Jesus. Well, we can just have a chat, can't we? Why not?
Yeah, that's it. Wait for Wayne to turn up as well.
Yeah, he's obviously really busy at work recently.
Well, I found the Blue Death and Beetles quite interesting lately, actually. They're roaming around everywhere. Yeah. Got the four
I'd
of
like
them
to
roaming
get some
around
more,
there.
but they're like a tenner each, aren't they?
16.
16, Christ, they were tenner when I got mine.
Yeah, wow. 16 from TSS.
That's crazy. They're nice though.
Yeah, I know.
How many do you have?
Just the four of them at the minute. They're in one of the big 2-foot wooden vivs, like one of the snake vivs.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought, from what I was reading, they need quite a bit of room. Even though they're quite tiny, they do like, excuse me, the room to wander around in. So, and I've also read up, don't know how true it is, but you can actually breed them in captivity.
Yeah, I know someone who did. He didn't have a lot, mine. He only had maybe 2, 3. But yeah, I don't know if he's still got them. My assassin bugs, they have just like, mate, they must have nothing else better to do than, you know, the naughty. So I've been getting like babies out of there, but there's so many of them, but they're so small you can't like really see them.
Yeah, I know. Half the time you miss a lot of them, don't you? You think you've got them all, but then you go back to it about 10 minutes later and there's like another dozen walking around on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they've done it. Sounds a bit weird, but you know, because I've got some more now, but yeah, they're just super small.
Well, I caught one of my Death and Beetles on the back of another one last night, so I you know, I believe there is a chance that they can be bred. But what I've heard is that you put them on about 2 inches of sand and you bury a piece of carrot, and then they put their eggs and stuff all around by the moisture part, so then it keeps the eggs moist but not soaking, basically.
That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it?
Considering obviously they live in a desert sort of area, don't they? I don't know how well it will work, but
I'll try it or something.
Well, that's it. I've got some more sand drying out at the minute because I've only got like I don't know, probably 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of substrate in there at the minute for them, or sand in
Yeah.
there at the minute, should I say? And because obviously I got play sand, so it wasn't dry when I got it out the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that they're sat on now, I left to dry for 5 days before they went in there.
Yeah, because they change like a different color, don't they? When
They turn black when they're
yeah,
wet.
it's pretty cool. We've
I
had
mean,
2
so
people
far,
in, 3 people in, and they
yeah, I know, I did just see that.
just keep coming and going. Like,
Probably coming to check, see how many people are here or not. But yeah,
it's
I've
not
found
normally
them
like
quite
this,
easy to
though,
care
is it?
for so far. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found them quite easy. I mean, obviously, I'm just feeding them dried mealworms and carrot.
If it works, keep it up.
I mean, the first night I chucked some mealworms in there, I chucked probably about 6 8 in there, and lo and behold, in about 10 minutes, that all 4 of them were over and munching.
Yeah. Well, if it works, mate, just keep doing what you're doing, because at least you know you're doing it right.
Well, that's it. I mean, I've tried to find out some stuff on them, but stuff online is quite vague, really, in their
Yeah.
care. From all I know is sort of keep them around the sort of 26, 28 degree mark, keep them
Mm.
on sand or no substrate, feed little scraps, but it doesn't really sort of say what sort of scraps. I'm guessing sort of like, as I've done mealworm, dried mealworms, and maybe some carcasses of crickets or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll have to I don't want to say trial and error, but you know what I mean, like,
Yeah, see what they
yeah,
feed on best, or
yeah, absolutely. But
just try a couple of things out. And
yeah,
I've also got a jelly pot with calcium in there for them, just to be on, just in case. But they haven't seemed to want to go near it at all.
yeah. Well, you have to just keep an eye on.
Well, that's it, because I didn't even know whether or not just to throw some bug grub in there for them or something.
I don't know.
That's the thing is,
Yeah,
like, everyone that I've tried to speak to about them is just like, well, I kind of fed mine on a couple of bits of veg every now and then, and
that's what I
chucked a
did
few
mine. Yeah.
scraps in of stuff, and it's like, okay, and that's what I'll go with. I've obviously just tried to mix it up with a couple of scraps of, what would have been live food at some point. Because from what I know as
Yeah.
well, if you were to put a scorpion in there with them as well, then they'll just eat the scraps that the scorpion hasn't eaten.
Right. Okay. That'd be quite. That'd be a nice setup, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Is it a certain scorpion or?
yeah, it's a desert hairy, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? I redone my Desert Hairy, and it looks so much better now. It's the same tank, but it's surprising, really, isn't it? Just by moving a bit of wood around inside, you can make it look so
Yeah,
different.
yeah, I've just redone my millipede tank. I mean, no one saw it before, and they still haven't seen it now yet. But
Yeah.
obviously, we went out and done a little bit of foraging for a few bits and pieces yesterday, and I come
Mm.
back with some nice bits of bark. So instead of having cork bark in there, I've used proper bark. And as soon as I put it in there, you could see about 40 of the isopods all over it.
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
Well, considering I started with 10 or something around that number, and I could easily see 50 in there when I was just sorting out the soil yesterday, because obviously I wanted to
What
put some
ones are they?
extra, the orange, giant orange.
Burnt orange, yeah. I
But
started
yeah,
with 4 dairy cows, and now I don't know. There's there's a few without counting. I wouldn't know, but I was going through them yesterday, and there's some like tiny, tiny little things, like
yeah,
just a little bit bigger than a springtail light. So they are breeding again, but the clowns as well. I've got they're breeding, and the other ones I noticed, Lavis, they're just pure white.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're at it like rabbits, shall we say? Um, there's loads of little bit, but they're so small you can't do nothing with them, right? But be right when they grow.
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to add an extra load of rotting whitewood and leaf litter into the soil so
Yeah,
that it
yeah, definitely
aerated it
good.
out a little bit better.
No, it's definitely good to do that.
You know, I mean, you know, the whitewood's not so much of an importance because I mean they're never going to go through the amount of whitewood that I've got in there. But leaf litter,
Yeah.
when I first put it together, I didn't really have much, so I just sort of threw in whatever I had. So I've had to top it up over times, but this time I sort of went all out and I've chucked like a big carrier bag's worth all just in there basically.
That's why it's good, like this time of year, isn't it? When like the leaves are just starting to fall, you just bag them up,
Yeah,
dry them out. You got it for the remainder of the year, like just
yeah.
storing it somewhere.
So I mean, I just picked up. Sort of big ones as well, so that
Oh,
I can
decent, yeah.
change up my red-eyed tree frogs set up as well at some point, and put a couple of those
Yeah, that'd
across
be
the
good.
bottom rather than you know. I've obviously picked up a load of say oak and maple and stuff like that as well, chuck in, but I picked up a nice big handful of the big ones as well. I'm not
Yeah,
too sure what they are, but I'm sure you know the isopods and whatever else will love eating them.
yeah, they'd be alright on them.
I haven't put them in the millipede tank just purely because I'm not 100% sure what they are and whether or not the millies can eat them or not. So I haven't taken the
Yeah,
risk with that just yet. Obviously, I know that they can eat pretty much all hardwoods leaves, so I've chucked in a load of oak and maple.
oh, hello, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
The chat's not showing on here. That's really weird. Comments. Hi guys, BRB need bears. Well, yes, that would be a wise move.
Yeah, it seems strange now. I've just got like a big 45 cube sat next to me with nothing in it again.
I got a 4590 over there with nothing in it, and it's like, what a waste. Like, just sat there. I mean, I've got something to put in it, but I need a thermostat, I need a heat mat, it's
You need all the bits to go with it. You've got the tank, but it's all very well and good having that. But when you haven't got everything else to go with it,
yeah, that's it.
you can't just go chucking an animal in there and hope for the best.
Can you see the comments or not?
Yeah, I can see comments. It's only Rob that's commented so far.
Why can I not see? That's really weird. It normally comes up on a. Maybe if I turn it this way. No. Oh well.
Oh well.
Whoa! Sorry, I spoiled my own entertainment there. What did you have for tea?
Chicken chips and plum tomatoes.
The first two sounded nice. I don't know about the third one. Tomato. Ooh.
I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes, no, I must admit.
No.
But I don't mind tin tomatoes, like plum tomatoes, because I normally have them with a breakfast as well if I ever get round to having one.
Yeah. Oh, black pudding.
Very rare occasion.
Who came up with that one?
What? Really? One of the boys had just come in saying plum tomatoes are the best bit.
No. The chicken, yeah. A little red. No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't tend to have any tomato in sandwiches or anything like that because makes all the bread go soggy.
In sandwiches, like the best food ever, because you could put whatever you want in it.
I know.
Like a pot noodle sandwich is the one. Oh my
Layer
God.
it as many times as you want.
Absolutely, get a Big Mac going.
Whole loaf with everything in between it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Just scoop the middle out of that bread that you buy, which is not cut. Fill it up. I'm so gonna do that tomorrow.
We used to get French sticks and just like make cheap pizzas, cut it in half, and then obviously a bit of tomato puree and cheese on top.
Pizza's good as well.
Just so damn expensive.
What, pizza or French stick?
No, pizza, depending on obviously where you go.
Yeah,
like, if you go to Asda, Tesco's
like,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you like go to say Domino's or something, you're paying like 20 quid or something for a pizza. And
bomb that. That's a lot of money for a bit of bread, like.
that's what I say.
Yeah. Don't catch me paying that.
Got,
no way.
I know. People go to me, what do you mean it's just bread? It's like, well, it is. It's just glorified bread.
Yeah.
It's just flattened bread with stuff chucked on top. Welcome back, Rob. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Rob. We're just chatting about food.
As you do.
One food I don't get is quiche. It hasn't even got a nice name, has it? Quiche. Oh.
Really?
It's just
mind quiche,
it's just like
but
in a box.
Cold scrambled egg.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there, I'll eat it. Like, but I won't purposely go out and buy one.
Occasionally, I'll buy like a little one or something.
Yeah.
You know, just a little cheese and bacon one, but very few and far between.
Rob, are you like the pound pizzas from Asda, or are you Domino's, Pizza Hut, that sort of? What do you prefer?
And what do people have on their pizza?
I'm looking over there because the comments are over there, not in front of me. It's really weird. So if I keep doing that, you know why.
What should say on pineapple on pizza then?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pineapple. I don't agree with it. You just don't like people like, oh, it's weird on pizza, but yeah, if you go to a party, you eat cheese and pineapple on a stick. That's just
Yeah,
warm. So yeah, it's
all pizzas, Asda, Iceland. Yeah, but that's just it. I mean, I have pineapple with gammon,
yeah.
so yeah. See, Rob, ham and pineapple, lush.
Who was it though that thought? I tell you what, there's something missing off of this. Let's put a bit of fruit on it. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, it's it's all right,
But then
but
I suppose everything had to start from somewhere. You know, who would have ever thought about putting like cheese and bacon together? Or, you know, I
because that
know that
just
they're like two savoury things, but it's sort of
mm,
like, you know, it had to start from somewhere. Whoever thought about putting like bacon on a burger?
an absolute legend. That's who.
You put garlic on bread, Rob.
Yeah, that's mm, yeah, but it tastes so good though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, that first person to get a garlic clove and a slice of bread and go, this could work.
Thing is, there's loads of things like that in there. Like if you think about it, um, Peter Kay does a sketch about it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Garlic, cheese, cake, cheese, and
cheese.
potato.
And then when he says about obviously when you're walking down the tables, doesn't he? He says that it's like a Scooby Doo sketch that it's like vol au vent,
Yeah.
chicken.
Look at the link for this table. Oh no, someone's put a mirror at the end to make it look twice as long. What a hero. Oh yeah, when got it better. Yes, totally agree. You want it sort of dripping down your elbow, like, oh, mm.
Where you can just mop it up with a crust of bread.
Oh, mm. You got to have garlic bread with lasagna, though. Oh, there's so much
Yeah, but
so
with our
satisfying about
pizza.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, carrot cake. That actually has carrot in it.
I know.
Who
I've
puts
never got
veg in
that.
a cake? What the? Oh my god!
Obviously, a vegetarian at some point. Spag bowl.
Spag bowl. Yeah, it's all right. It just ends up everywhere, around your face, down the
Yeah,
front. And that sauce, I don't know what it's got in it, but it stains everything, doesn't it?
but you know that's the challenge of eating it. You see,
Yeah.
they say you know if you haven't got it down you, then you haven't enjoyed it.
Yeah, but then you can't have enjoyed it because you're wearing half of it. So you're like, well, the bit I had was all right, but I don't know about this bit.
Just saving it for later. That's why everyone has these big bushy
Oh.
beards.
I've always wanted to ask a guy with a really big beard, like, if you're eating shredded wheat, how do you know when you're finished? Like, because it surely it's got like the same texture, hasn't it? I don't know. Shredded wheat. Ooh.
Almost like eating Weetabix.
Yeah, I quite like Weetabix. Not when people are like, oh, have it with warm milk. No,
No,
no, thanks. Put a bit of banana
no.
on it. Yeah, no.
You might as well just eat porridge then, mightn't you? You're going to eat it with warm milk.
Or just go without.
Just sit there and eat it like a biscuit, dry.
Spag bowl with pasta shells. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
That's what the other half does instead. We don't really do spag bowl. We do pasta and mince, which then we just have like
Yeah.
twirly pasta or whatever shells or whatever we've got in.
Are you 5? Twirly pasta. That is brilliant. Oh, can we have the spiral one, please? I bet you actually do that as well, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that is
everyone.
brilliant.
I don't know. I'm not clued up on pasta. Leave me alone.
Oh, that's made my night.
Shells, twirly pasta, and long stringy stuff.
Eating pasta with a spoon. I don't think I've ever done that. Maybe I could just put that in front of me and then I don't have to keep turning around. that makes sense. No. Rob, just no. There's limits and no. Although it probably would be nice, wouldn't it?
I never liked turkey twizzlers when they were around anyway.
Mate, they are the one. That with a tin of beans, done.
On toast.
Oh, no. In a sandwich, yeah.
In a big French stick. Just
oh. Now you're talking dirty. It's just like a giant Subway, isn't it?
really, yeah.
Subway's good.
Hmm.
A lot of money for a sandwich, isn't it?
It is. We made our own cheap ones the other week. Bought some little sticks and sort of bought a load of extra stuff and come home, and I think I had like ham, salami, pepperami, and something else with smoked jalapeno cheese.
Yeah, nice man. That pepper jack cheese, oh, so good, man. Turkey dinosaurs, they were mint. Do you remember the ham that was in the shape of a bear?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do it, but oh
Billy
man, that
Bear,
tastes so
wasn't it,
good.
or something?
Yeah, that tastes so good.
Pop out the eyes and nose and mouth.
Yeah, you're like that. Just me. But no, I did that. Oh wow, Billy Bear meat.
Yeah, the last time I knew, the Asda's around here still done that. But you
Really?
actually had to go to the deli counter for it. It wasn't just like on the shelf.
So, oh right, and pay like an extra £2 for it, like.
Yeah. Sandwiches.
Do you know what? I
What?
read that as wedges then. Ham wedgies. Oh.
Wedges wrapped in ham.
Or is it ham wrapped in ham?
You get chicken wrapped in ham, so
You ever had that? I think it's called egg roll. It's like ham, but with like a piece of egg in the middle of it.
no, but I know what you're.
It's really good, man. Yes, I've had that. Why are we chatting about meat? So
It's now a
peculiar.
food stream.
Is there any food that you don't like?
Not generally. I mean, if it's put in front of me, then I eat most things.
How about you, Rob? Is there anything that you don't like? I don't mean
I mean,
like
there's a
public
lot of things.
transport. No, I mean food.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't like, I suppose. I don't know. Obviously, as I said, like turkey Twizzlers. But if they were put in front of me and I was out somewhere, then I would eat them.
See, fish. I'm not cod and prawn cocktail crisp. That's as far as I go.
Oh, I suppose I'm not. I'm not a big fan of mussels,
Oh,
but pretty much all the other fish I'll eat.
I like cheese. Scott, everyone likes cheese. I could sit there and eat it by the block.
Do that with Stilton sometimes.
Yeah, that's probably the only one I don't like.
A lot of people say that.
I think it's just maybe like the look of the thing, you know? We've always been told to not eat mold, so
And lo and
not
behold,
eating it.
there's mouldy cheese.
Yeah, I'm quite fussy, I think. Fish, just
But then
oh,
if you really want to go down that road, then all cheese is actually technically mouldy.
true, but it don't look moldy.
No, it don't. No.
It don't have a
But then a lot of
go on.
there's a lot of people that would probably just cut the mold off of cheese and then just eat the cheese behind it.
Stilton taste. Oh,
How baby sick must taste.
he ain't wrong
I
though.
can't ever say that I've eaten much baby sick, but I can't actually say that it does taste like baby sick.
They kind of smell the same, I guess, don't they?
Mm, kind of, yeah. Scott, where'd you put it? It froze. Oh, you're back.
So I was just swapping the internet over.
Now I don't know where that's come from, Rob. Warm milk. Now is that something that you enjoy?
The marshmallow one is nice. That's the rhubarb and custard,
Yeah.
which is quite nice. Toffee apples are the best.
Yeah.
Oh,
The other week we
one.
went to B&M and they were selling the marshmallow ones, and we bought every last one on the shelf.
Get home and didn't like it. Like
No, we had one a couple the day before, so it was like, yeah, kind of went back and just cleared out every one that they had.
they got another one. It's like tutti frutti.
Yeah, I did
It
see that one.
yeah, it just tastes like artificial. Just gonna do their lights a minute.
What's everyone's favourite food when they go out to eat? If you go out to, say, like order something or just go out in general, where would
Kebab.
people's places? Kebab.
No. What a mess that is, mine, a kebab, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
The fact that
definitely.
it gets given to you in a bag. Mixed
As
grill
well.
all the way. Yeah, agree with that.
Yeah, see, I'm normally a mixed grill or surf and turf if I'm going to say like a pub.
You can't go wrong with a burger, though, definitely.
No. Barley Mow up the road from us, they do pretty good burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a nice burger van up on top of the hill just up the road from us. It's like open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't matter what day. It's open Christmas Day, New Year's, Boxing. If you want a burger, they're open.
He either lives alone or don't like his wife, one or the other.
Well, he's made a really good name for himself up there. He's been there probably about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And I remember when it first started, it was just like one of these little trailer burger shack sort of things. And now it's like almost like a big American style home thing that parks there. And
Nice.
And then he's got another trailer behind it with everything else in. And he runs his own bakery as well, so that he does his own bread rolls and stuff like that. So he doesn't have to go anywhere for them.
Oh, that's really good.
So he has really done really well.
Tom, don't you live on an island?
Yeah, I do. But if you go over the bridge and just up the hill, then he's there. Yeah, I do live on an island. And, I know that it does seem like that we're a bit secluded from everything, but no, we can actually leave the island. We don't get asked for a passport or anything. Not quite that bad.
How big's the island?
Well, not big at all, really.
I don't mean like, could you walk from one side to the other, but like, or could you? I don't know.
Well, to get from, say, where I'm living, all the way to, say, the closest town centre, it would take you probably hour and a half to walk it. But I mean, you can cycle it quite comfortably in like 25 minutes or something.
Not too bad, isn't it?
So yeah, it's still easy enough. So even Scott says the island is tiny, and it is really. I don't know. I think it's something like 20,000.
Oh right, okay.
But it's mainly like old people that live here. It's sort of, they call it God's waiting room.
Oh wow, that's nice.
So yeah.
God's waiting room. That's so hard, but so funny.
Oh, there you go. Angel's just. It's about 12 miles from town and 8 to 9 miles wide.
Oh, so not big at all.
No.
Wow. Is it one of those places where, like, you know everybody in your street?
In some places, yeah. Everyone knows everyone. Or, you can't walk down the road really without spotting someone that you know. Or
right. Have you always lived there, or?
No, I lived probably about. Originally, I grew up probably about 20 miles away from here, up on top of the
Oh,
hill where I was just talking about the burger van. And then I moved to Southampton for about 7 years and then come back.
oh,
So obviously I moved about 40-ish miles away from where I am now for a few years for work. And then obviously lost my job, so lost where I was living and moved back this way.
yeah. As long as you're happy there, innit, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've got used to moving around and stuff, so
You've got everything that you need over there, innit?
yeah. I mean, it's not too bad over here. I mean, we've got all your local shops and stuff like that, and we've just had a little. Well, I say just we had a little built on the island about a year or so ago now.
It's not nothing really to be proud of. I mean,
No, I know, but that's our biggest shop
little.
on the island. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
you've got
good.
all your little Tesco's and stuff. But if you want a big Tesco's or an Asda's or something like that, you've got to go off the island.
Oh, right, okay.
That's a massive rubber dinghy.
How old's the island?
So how old is it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not that much into culture.
I'm assuming someone just ended up on it and was like, do you know what? Yeah, I'll live here.
Well, originally there was a train that come all the way over here,
Was it?
and then
Wow,
they
okay.
ended up building a bridge. Yeah, originally the bridge that you come over on was just a footbridge basically, and you couldn't actually drive over.
What's the place called?
Hayling Island,
Hey,
Hay.
yeah, Hailing Islands. I got it. Oh, that looks nice.
And literally just over the road from where we are, like you come out of our driveway, turn right, and probably 200 yards up, there's a slipway that leads over to the beach.
That actually looks really nice.
It was like quite a big holiday destination, but it's slowly dying out now. I mean, you still have like a lot of people come down during the summertime and stuff, but
Is Hailing Islands got real sand? The questions people ask.
that's because most of the beaches here now are stone.
Things to do in Hailing Islands. I ain't reading all that. Christ. Right.
We do have our own like fairground and amusement park and stuff like that here as well.
Yeah. It's 126 miles for me.
No, Rob, there's I got no new inverts or anything coming. Just what was up on the last video, which was obviously the H. Gigas, Cereoplagus von Worthy, Brachypelma bohemi, and the GBB. I had to remember them, which all come in the GIMP box from TSS.
Makes it sound really bad, doesn't it? The GIMP box.
GIMP box, yeah, I know.
Expect them to open it and they're all wearing leather, like, hi.
All you can see is these like little eyes staring at you.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. Oh, that's so weird.
And they all have 7 legs apart from the GBB, which has 6.
Oh,
And as Andrew said as well, we did have the Blue Death and Beatles turn up, which she's been wanting for a long time.
yeah.
Anything new on your side, James?
Yeah,
Or
something in
anything that you can share?
there. Something in there, but I don't really want to get it out. Because we've only had it like 3 days, so I just want to sort of like leave it alone. It's a snake. So I mean, he's like, oh,
Almost
he's
like,
right by the corner. What?
almost just letting him get used to his environment before
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Basically, it's yeah, it's all right. It's very when we got it, it was like very defensive, and I was chatting to the bloke, and he's like, "Well, I've had it 3 years. I ain't never got it out." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks then." So yeah, I mean, it'd be all right after it gets used to me, like, but that what else did I think that's it, like big stuff. I got a couple of slings, but it sounds bad, but I'm just replacing the ones which I lost ages ago. But look at the concentration going on there.
And he's back.
Yeah,
Wayne should be along at some point, Rob, but he had to work a little bit late today.
you want a happy bunny, was he?
No, didn't sound it overly. I mean, I had the same thing last week. Obviously, I had to go back to that school in Bournemouth that I was saying about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, we had to go there and pretty much finish it all off. So obviously, I was up at like 4 o'clock to then go there, get picked up at 5. We get there and we were meant to be doing some line painting on the floor. There's like a big no parking chevron thing. And lo and behold, no, we're not allowed to do it in school hours because it's in front of the main gate that everyone uses. So we weren't actually allowed to do it till like 5 o'clock in the evening when everyone left the school.
Do you have to do? Just wait around.
Basically, do everything else that we could do and then wait till everyone had left and then do it then. So I didn't actually stroll in my door till like 9 o'clock at night that night.
Oh, that is long, isn't it?
Yeah. So 4 till 9 before you do anything else.
Yeah, that's rather you than me, to be honest.
And well, Rob, I put up fences at the minute for living.
See, I struggle with that because I can get them straight. I'd be like that, do it's in the ground. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're doing it for a profession, it don't matter, does it? If you're only doing your own fence or someone else's, then I mean, I've
Yeah.
done it exactly the same. I put up a fence along or down the side of the driveway here, and all I've done is just followed the curb line or followed the driveway, whether or not it was straight or not. I just followed that. I know the
Yeah.
posts are level, but
Wait, I've just had a load of comments come through. I don't know where are you up to?
we're up to Rob's comment with Rock Python.
What type of, what do you guys do?
yeah, what do you guys do for a living? And then Rock Python.
I'm a bank robber. So no, I'm not really. Please don't tell anyone. No, I
You
cook
pick
for a
and
living.
choose though.
Cook. It makes me sound like a dinner lady, doesn't it? I'm not a dinner lady.
Yeah, your little penny and hairnet.
Yeah, and they've always got a massive bunch of keys, haven't they? What is with that? It's like, how many keys do you need? You're in a playground. Oh, weird. What do you do, Rob?
Right, I'm just going to grab another drink quickly.
I mean, yeah, I am, Rob. Okay. Do you enjoy doing that? Very true. Won't catch me in one of them. Oh, no way. Not my sort of thing, to be honest.
Hey.
Oi.
Hey.
Do you ever do like the gym or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, I just said you won't catch me in one. I suppose you couldn't really have one on the island because you'll sink, wouldn't you? The weight and
You say that, we've actually got one in the middle of the island, above
it
a
was a joke.
Sainsbury's. No, when they first put it in, I was like, really?
I
You
suppose
know,
it, yeah.
I couldn't believe that they just went and put it above a shop. But I suppose they've got to put it somewhere, haven't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, originally we had to travel off the island to go to a gym. Not, I say we, if you wanted to go to a gym. I mean, before I was doing fencing, I was a scaffolder by trade, so that was enough lifting for me.
Wayne's 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I just got that. But yeah, I mean, I've always been in some sort of physical work on outdoor side, really.
It's all right in the summer, isn't it? But
Yeah, I mean, winter time's horrible. Winter time and April time, April showers, and winter time are cold. But then saying that, you know, when is winter nowadays? I mean, winter
well,
doesn't
that's
really
it. I
come
mean,
till January, does it?
today was such a nice day. Like it was so hot. We went for a skate and everything, and yeah, it was really good, man. 2 more days there, finish. 8 days off. That'd be nice.
Well, I've got 5 days off in about 3 weeks' time.
Woo!
I know. On holiday. We're down in
No, don't.
uh,
When it hits
Devon
like
for 5 days.
when it hits like 60 degrees and you're stood there, yeah, it's not great.
But then at least when it's wet outside, you stood there and you're like, ah, ah, ah.
Yeah, but like I stand over a grill, so not only is that hot, but the temperature with oh mate, it's just the worst.
Yeah, I can't personally say that I've like, well, cooked as a living or anything, but the pub that I worked in, I ended up becoming a bar manager of,
Yeah,
and basically, like 90% of the time, it was me in there on my own, but we also had a kitchen. So, it would be a case of people would come up, order food and order a drink, and you'd be having to try and serve, say, like 50 customers while trying to cook someone's food as well. And that was hot enough for me doing that.
yeah. How long does a cookie smell? It never goes away, mate. It never goes away. Um, even the whites, you wash them, you can still smell it. It's like grease, which isn't
Yeah.
great. But we're both chefs, so like you got twice the amount. It's not. What I see our washing line is just all whites. It's really weird. Looks like straight jackets hung up. You're like, ooh.
I know that smell. The Angel's youngest two work in the cafe up the road from us.
Yeah,
It's it's my dad's girlfriend's cafe, so they work
yeah,
up there on weekends, and it's exactly the same. They come home, and all you can smell as soon as they walk in is like chip fat or
yeah. It's
fat from the
vile.
grill. And no matter how much you do, or you try and like spray down the house or something like that, you'd never
Nothing
get
gets
rid of
rid of
it, do
it.
you?
No.
No, it's definitely not one of the nicest of smells. But I suppose it's like any smell, really. I suppose after a while, I wouldn't say you get used to it, but you grow a bit more of an immunity to it.
Yeah, definitely. If we've been off for like say 2 days, our normal two days off, when you go back into the kitchen on your next day, oh, it's vile. Yeah, it's exactly like that, Rob. Yeah, it just sticks to everything, doesn't it, grease?
Yeah, yeah. I've had to do it. Well, when I moved down here, obviously I didn't have a job or anything, so I went on to work for an agency, and there's like a big recycling plant up by that burger van on top of the hill, and in the end, I sort of went and worked there for a little while, and you spent 10 hours of a day in front of a conveyor belt just watching things go past, and you've just got to sort them out into their own separate bins. But
Yeah,
it was, the time that I was doing it was, I was like, it was like in the height of summer like this, like 30-degree weather, and as soon as you got anything like an old bin bag or something split on the conveyor belt, obviously you're all in a tight little room anyway. As soon as that thing comes through, oh, it is one of
get
the
it
worst smells
out.
in the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not only that as well. By the end of the day, you feel like you're on the generation game. Your eyes are just like you
Mm.
can't focus on something because you've just been watching a conveyor just casually roll in front of you with all sorts
Yeah.
on it for the last 10 hours.
Do you ever see something and go, "Why did they throw that away? I'm having that."
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that as well. I mean, they ended up making their own like stereo with speakers all around the place inside the conveyor room with just what had come along on the conveyor belt.
Well, okay, so like reusing stuff. Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they had like the odd occasional time you'd have like a tablet or something come through, and someone would go, "All right, yeah," or the odd computer and stuff like that, and you think to yourself, "Well," but then you do also get the stuff like needles and stuff like that come through as well. So you do kind of take the good with the bad,
Yeah,
really.
I I do skate, not as much as I used to. I do a lot of trials though, and a lot of downhill on my bike, which is super fun. I'm going tomorrow. Cannot wait. It's dangerous, but it's fun.
Yeah, someone that I work with does it quite a lot. Goes out a
Mm.
lot.
We try to
I
go
mean,
out twice, maybe 3 times a week, but it's really hard with the hours that we do. Like,
yeah, he gets out riding at least once a week, but he also does a lot of other stuff as well. Like him and his girlfriend also go jogging it once a week and stuff like that. But I mean, he's got, I think he said about 9 bikes now, and he wouldn't even like to
wow,
start thinking about the money that he's spent on them. And he's looking at a new one, even though he's just gone and bought himself a new motorbike.
that's crazy. Bike, like especially travel bikes, they're so expensive, and then if you go on to downhill bikes, again, you're looking at
Mm.
6, 7, more than that grand. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I, I think he said his cheapest is about 3.5 grand, which is the one that he just
yeah,
loans out to people that, if they want to come out for a ride with him, he just loans them that bike.
yeah. But you look at say like 3.5 grand. That's car money, isn't it?
I know.
That's yeah,
I mean, he's just looking online at the minute for some old school bikes from when he was growing up. And I mean, he's looking at spending about 12.5 grand on this bike just because it reminds him of his childhood. He'll never ride it because it's an absolute piece of shit, really. But
yeah,
he just wants it because it's part of his childhood memories, basically.
yeah. People spend grand on tractor. Yeah, they do, Rob.
Mm.
Like racing bikes, some of those, like, and gravel bikes. Just man, people got some money to just chuck away. It's crazy.
Well, that's it. We look at how much money we spend on inverts and stuff like that, but it's nothing compared to what you can spend on, say, bikes.
Well, it's like everything, isn't it? Like if you have a hobby, you go to work to feed that hobby. Or
Yeah,
I think hobby. I think the word is more addiction. Like it. We've all spent a hell of a lot of money on animals, and we get pleasure out of that. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But it's what we like. So
well, that's it. And if you
Uncle buys
didn't
a
enjoy this, then you'd find something else, wouldn't you, to spend it on?
yeah.
Is that sort of the old American style chopper bikes?
I think he's on about the UK ones. They were mint.
With the big front wheel? Well, some of them anyway.
Yeah, they had a wider one on the back, wasn't it? And like the
Mhm.
weird handlebars that sort of went like
Yeah,
that
you
towards
sort
you.
of like rode with them up here in front of your face, and you look through the handlebars almost.
And the gear was in the middle on the frame, wasn't it? I used to have a rally burner back in the day. Oh, Rally Burner. Oh, horrible BMX.
I don't know. When I was BMXing, I built my BMX myself, and I ended up buying a We the People frame, and then just built it from there.
Really good frame, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Like, a lot of us used to go out BMXing, pretty much every weekend. We'd cycle for about 45 minutes down to our local skate park and do like 9 hours in there, and then cycle home.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could go down there for about £7 a session or something, and it was like 4-hour sessions.
Barracuda. I had a Barracuda. It was like riding a block of flats. It was so heavy. You found it. That's wicked. Found or nicked? Did you steal it? It's all right. I'm not a policeman. You can tell me. I bought one of these the other day. One of these electronic sprayer things.
All right, yeah.
And still, when I'm sat in there and it goes off, it frightens the hell out of me. I'm like, oh, that's that sprayer again. Smells really good. I still don't believe you, Rob.
When you find it locked up at a kid's school, that's...
Yeah. To free it, did you have to have a pair of bolt cutters?
Oh, here we go.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey.
Hello, Wayne.
Hello.
Sorry it took me so long to get on.
That's all right, mate. Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's been a really, really shitty start to the week, to be honest.
Yeah. Everything all right there?
Yeah, all good, all good. Like I said, just trying to deal with some last minute issues at work. I'm in the process of handing my job over to someone else.
Right, okay.
So I need to make sure that in the process of handing it over, before I move on to do like the next level up, I need to make sure that they're sort of like fully conversant with everything that they've got to do, and it's making sure that I've rectified all of the little minor issues beforehand before they take over, so they're taking it over in a good state. So it's just mega busy and a bit of a headache at the moment. It's just niff naff and trivia, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But anyway, how are you guys?
Yeah, well, I'm right. I think Tom's right. Sorry, I just answered for you, Tom. Carry on.
Thanks for that. Saves me.
Sorry,
me
you're
using
welcome.
my invoice.
So
I'm
what's
lucky
new,
with
guys?
things like that. You know, most of my jobs that I go to, I don't really have to worry about handing anything over to anyone else, because it's the labourer that comes in then after me.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, sometimes I do wonder if it might be a little bit simpler going back to doing a job where I can just sort of turn up, do what I need to do, and disappear at the end of the day without any worries about too much in terms of repercussions and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I miss those
Do you
days.
enjoy what you do then?
I do. I've been doing it for a long time, so I don't really have much of a choice now. I'm sort of indoctrinated, so I don't really know any different now.
Could you see yourself doing anything else?
Yeah, well, whatever happens with this job, I've only got a maximum of 7 years left doing it. So at the end of that time, I'm going to have to look at what my next step is anyway. So don't know what specifically I want to go into yet.
Ever thought about putting up fences or? Tom, I thought you right.
So do you know what? Actually, for a little while, I did think about going off and doing hopefully by the time this next 7 years is up, I'll be leaving my current job with a half decent pension and that sort of stuff. So it should put me in a good stead. So depending on how it all works out, I should be able to walk away from that, look at getting a you know, a half decent paid part-time job, and that should tide us over really.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Rob's just said there, like breeding inverts and stuff. You know what? I'd love to do that as a living. If we were in a sort of an economy where you could actually make a living off of it. My problem is that it is very much a hobby for me, you know.
So,
And unless you're dealing with something the size of a pet shop or a wholesale sort of system, then it's very, very difficult to make any serious money doing it.
it's not only breeding it; it's you've got to sell it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, you need to, and then that's the other side of it as well. You think for us guys, if we're breeding the odd tarantula or whatever here and there, and what we sell them on for is nowhere near what pet shops sell them for.
Yeah.
You know, and the reason they sell them on for so expensive is because they've got the overheads that they need to cover and that sort of stuff.
No, we're inflating.
So,
Yeah.
I suppose you know, if you're doing it from your own living room and stuff, you don't have quite so many overheads. But yeah, I still don't think realistically at the sort of level of the amount of animals that I keep and stuff, I could feasibly make a living off of it.
But that's the thing. It's just like trying to start any company, really, isn't it? I mean, you need sort of like 10 grand basically just to go and throw at something to sort of make a start with it. And that 10 grand obviously wants to be disposable cash just in case, you know, something goes wrong with the business or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if all of a sudden you don't sell enough one month or whatever it is, or, you know, you don't go and do enough work, you still need enough money to then pay for either your blokes or your inverts or whatever you're deciding that you're going to do at that time.
Yeah.
Just get yourself a paper round or something. You'll be all right.
Do you know what? I'd say yeah, but my knees wouldn't cope with like riding around on a bike and stuff now.
You could walk,
That'd be even worse.
Back in the day when paper round, oh mate, they were brilliant.
Yeah.
So easy, and like the money was crap, but it was money, wasn't it?
And that was the thing. It was a pleasure at the end of the week of just of being able to say, you know what, definitely. I earned this. Nobody gave it to me. I actually earned it, you know, and it taught people the value of work and stuff. And there's not enough of that about now.
No. Kids now literally just get everything given to, not all of them, but majority of them get everything given.
Yeah.
Apparently escorting it. Wow. Okay. I'm not even going to read that out. Rob, what you do in your spare time, right, is no business of mine.
Yeah.
Depends on what he means by escorting there. You could just be, you know, assisting an old granny across the road.
Yeah, if he means what I think he means, you need a pretty face of mind to make any money at that.
Helping Doris across the road ain't going to pay your mortgage, like.
I don't know, she might be feeling generous and have a spare £100 in her pocket that she's going to give you for it.
No. The fault's there, Tom, but no.
You might have to find some royalty or something for that, but help the Queen across the road.
So are you getting on with that enclosure build, Tom? You've made any progress on it yet?
No, nothing as of yet. I've sort of made a polystyrene background for it.
Okay.
But that's as far as it's got so far. I've now got to wait for some silicon to turn up and stuff like that. And then, you know, go from there then. But I did actually pull it out from underneath everything and it's now set up on the bench ready for when it works.
That's progress, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, rather than it just being sat there collecting dust, it is actually out now. So it gives that sort of enthusiasm now to make a start with it.
Well, that's it. Every time you walk in a room now, it's going to be there in the corner of your eye and it's going to be
Yeah.
like niggling at you to get it done. So it's easy when you hide things away. You can just sort of forget about them for a bit. But if it's there staring at you, gives you the motivation a little bit more, maybe.
But that's the thing as well. It's not like it's a small tank, really. In any, it is still quite small, but it's like the same sort of size. It's almost like a 45 cube
Yeah.
based around that. So it's sort of like it's one of those sort of tanks that does actually sit there, and you can't necessarily hide it away. And even if you do, you end up always seeing it behind everything.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying to James earlier, like everything, all the live plants that I had growing in this 45 cube next to me haven't done so well in it. So I've moved them elsewhere. So now I've just got this 45 cube sat next to me that's empty again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, every time I look that way, that's it. It's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a bit of a sort out, just sort of like when I got the energy up over the weekend to try and dig a few bits and pieces out and go through some of the empty enclosures I've got. And I've got a few bits and pieces that I want to do something with, but again, it's kind of like finding the motivation to do it. So
It's having the time as well, isn't it? Working full time, it's like you come home, you just want to sit down, have your tea, and go to bed. Not mucking about with. I mean, it's fun, but
well, I just seem to sort of shit out of luck a little bit at the moment as well. So obviously, the other week I was ill. Just got over the worst of that. Now the kids are back at school and they've brought home some horrible like cold or flu type bug. So, and obviously over lockdown, everyone's been isolating themselves and staying away from crowds of people. So all the stuff that you would normally be exposed to over the year, we haven't really been exposed to it. So the immune system's taken a bit of a dip, and it just seems like everything that's going around at the moment is coming my way.
yeah. It's not good, is it, man?
No, I'm not very good when I'm ill. I'm a proper pansy when I'm ill.
You ain't the only one, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm on the sofa under a duvet, and the missus is bringing me hot toddies and stuff, and
too right, man.
telling me there it'll be okay.
Patting you on the head, like.
Yeah. No, I'm not good when I'm ill. But if I get ill, it's not usually something minor. The minor stuff sort of comes and goes with no issue. If I get ill, for some reason it always hits me really hard.
Yeah,
so,
same.
And that's my defense. She just says that I'm fucking useless when I'm ill. But my defense is if I get it bad.
Yeah.
I know. I'm a bit like that. If I do get ill, it's normally over and done with in a day.
Yeah.
And everyone else is sat here suffering for a week, and everyone's all sniffling, coughing, and everything around me, and it's just like, what's wrong with you? Snap out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rob's just said there, it's not all COVID.
No.
There's plenty of seasonal
Especially
flu
with the
going
weather
around.
changing as well, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going into like the colder time now, so
Yeah.
people are going to get the normal common colds, but that's going to be, oh, you've got COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it does make you ask a question though, doesn't it? Is how many of those early cases of people that sort of had it, got over it pretty quickly and were perfectly fine? How many of those cases were just misidentified seasonal flu? Because they weren't testing at the beginning, were they?
Yeah.
No.
So
yes, the
it
thing
does make
now, well, they're actually saying that you can catch it more than once, aren't they?
Yeah. Which is completely opposite of what they said at the beginning, that if you've had it once and you're showing the antibodies for it, then you're fine to re-enter society and stuff. If they're now turning around and saying that, well, it's a different strain of it now and you can catch it a second time, what do you reckon, guys? You reckon we're heading back towards another lockdown?
I wouldn't necessarily say a full lockdown, but maybe individual cities. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Back to slightly heavier restrictions on social distancing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they want to keep like pubs open, and I'm like, this is where people are going. Like, you're not allowed your family around at your house, but you can sit in a pub with a load of people you don't know,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous. It pisses me off. That's what it does. Maybe because I work in one, so due to be shut Christmas Day. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
See, I've had it from the other end of the spectrum, like through most of like the initial stages of lockdown, and then sort of more in towards returning back to some form of normality afterwards. I've been working. I've been in, like, I'm in the healthcare profession, so I've been in and around it all and stuff. So
Yeah.
um,
yeah, I don't know.
but yeah.
There's the thing, I've been working all the way through it, but obviously I've just been in people's gardens. So, you know, if they do come out to see you, you just distance yourself from them and just shout at them rather than talk to them. But
yeah,
unfortunately, if that's the way it's got to be.
What I didn't understand was when the pubs opened, everybody flocked directly to the pubs.
Yeah.
It's like you've just spent all this money on your garden over lockdown to sit in it. Why are you coming out and spending more on drink when you've probably got a load at your house?
Hi, Tanya.
It's ridiculous.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
Yeah, and I think with that, I think it was just the simple fact that people not been able to go and do it for so long. It was just the novelty of getting out the door and going to a pub.
Yeah.
And it was the same as going out for food as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that obviously they ended up doing this eat out to help out or whatever it was.
I hope they don't do that again. I can tell you that.
You know, but the thing is, surely you wouldn't have to do that because people are already flocking out to go and buy food.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just basically saying, here, everyone go out for something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, rather than just the people that want to go, just, you know, you had everyone then wanting to go.
Yeah, it was encouraging it, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they got themselves to blame for it, you know, because what is happening to our world? We ain't gonna sort anything out, just the three of us, like, but we can give it a go.
No, I always say this about when people start talking about things like this, and it's like, well, if we knew what we were talking about, then we wouldn't be sitting here. We'd be somewhere in that big room, sat there on one of them posh chairs in front of everyone going, this is it. This is how we sort it. You lot are useless.
Yeah, earning the big bucks.
They're like £125,000 a year or something.
Yeah, see, I'd be happy with that.
I think I could live on that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could, but I think I could.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think hard budget
quite comfortably, I reckon. I'll tell you what, I'd have a much bigger spider collection.
I'd have a much bigger house for a start. I don't know about.
Yeah. Well, see, the bonus is
I'm not worried about the house. I'd just buy a bigger warehouse for everything to go in.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout. I mean, I don't have to worry too much about housing. That's where I am lucky, because obviously at the moment my housing comes as part of my job. Although I do pay for it, I pay for it at a very subsidised rate. So, you know, I get a 3-bedroom semi-detached house with a garage and all that sort of fun stuff, and I pay the equivalent of about 450 quid a month for that.
Rub it in.
Perks of the job, you know.
Absolutely, and
there's got to be some perks to this job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not a job. It's not a job for everyone, right?
I'm just gonna go get another beverage.
Roger. So anything new in the collection this week?
Not this week. No, just obviously what was in the last video that I put up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, as you probably saw, obviously I was a bit shaky, should we say? But like I said to her, I said, you know, it wasn't so much the fact of like how big they were or anything. It was for the fact that they just wanted to sit there and not do anything. So it was sort of like, where I haven't dealt with that yet, it put me on edge. I know that like everyone says, "Oh, stay calm," and your spider will stay calm, but it's sort of like when it doesn't want to move and doesn't want to do anything, it's like
you can't make it.
No. You know, is it just gonna spin round and fret pose me, or is it
it's almost worse, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'd much rather it just like me touch it and it just throw a fret pose at me. At least then I know that it's doing something.
Yeah. Well, what it's actually doing is lulling you into a false sense of security, so it can take you on when you're not expecting it. Like,
you know, I know that it's missing a leg or whatever, but it's like it's still fucking scary.
Yeah.
If it wants to bite you, it's still going to bite you.
Yeah, I've got. I put an order in with the Isopod King in the end.
Yeah.
So I just got one of the little mystery boxes and then some decor and some leaf litter and stuff. Wasn't bad. I got some dairy cows, so I was quite happy.
Oh, that's all right then.
So I ended up with like four different species in the end.
How much was the box?
So it was like I'd ordered originally a £25 mystery box with a few extra bits and pieces, and then he sort of messaged me afterwards and said like, "I'll just round it up to the nearest tenner, and I'll chuck a couple of extra bits in for you." So what I actually got, once I sort of worked it out, was around about the same sort of value, but I was more interested in getting a few different species rather than larger quantities of just one or two.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you just rounded it up to the nearest tenner after I'd ordered the extra wood and the leaf litter and stuff to go through it, and then sent it along. So like I say, it worked out price wise. It worked out about right. So I wasn't short or anything. It probably worked out to just over what I spent. But yeah, like I said, I got the 4 different species. So I got the dairy cows.
Nice.
I got some Greek pill bugs, which are pretty cool. Little roly polies.
Yeah.
I've got the what was it? The armadillo, the granulatum, the one, the little grey ones. With the little yellow markings on them. They're pretty cool actually. They look pretty smart under a camera close up. I've not had a chance to edit the video and stuff yet, but it will be going up on the channel as an unboxing video when I get a chance to sort it out. And then I've got I can't remember off the top of my head what the scientific name for him is, but it was another one of the sort of interesting smaller grey roly-poly species, which was pretty cool.
I do like the roly-polies.
Yeah, they are pretty smart. And like I say, the dairy cows are quite a good size as well. So I've taken the two nicer looking species and I've sort of set them up in a communal setup sort of thing with all the wood and all the other bits and pieces, and then I've got the sort of slightly more simple, plainer looking grayer ones like the Greek pill bugs and stuff. I've popped them into. I've got a big stick insect enclosure that's sort of like really humid and stuff, and I've been having dramas with. Obviously, they have a lot of leaf litter on the bottom, and it's catching a bit of mold and whatnot. So I've added a few extra springtails and put the new species of isopods in there, and that's quite a nice little setup now. And they're really flourishing. I mean, even in just like there's quite a lot of them in there now. So yeah, it's definitely worth a look. But like I said, the problem is when you look at that list, you're a bit spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
Which was that's why I went for the mystery box and said, just chuck something in and surprise me. I'll be happy.
So that's my problem though. When I do a mystery box, it's got to be a big mystery box. I can't just do a little one. Obviously I've done a few little ones when I went to the Seas show, but every one that I've like ordered myself, it's all sort of been £100 mystery boxes everywhere. Apart from my millipede one that I got from Invert Nation, which I got a £50 mystery box from him.
Okay.
Because I wasn't too sure of like sizes of millipedes and stuff that he was going to send.
Yeah.
So I wanted to feel comfortable in the setup that I was going to do for them, and make sure that make sure it was all right before I ended up getting, say, like half a dozen giant train millipedes or something turn up, and it's like, now I'm on top of a load of other things. It's just sort of like, but yeah, I can't seem to do small ones. So even if I was going to do something from Isopod King, I think I'd have to do at least a £50.
Yeah,
I think he does 75, isn't it? I think it's 25, 50, and
25,
75
50
that
and
he
75.
does. Yeah. I mean, considering you can have them in quite small tubs to start with, it's not
to
too
be fair,
bad.
the tubs that they come in are pretty good for like initially reeling them on and stuff. Well, I was quite impressed with that. They came with plenty of substrata and moss and leaf litter and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, he always sends you the food for them as well when he sends it on. So just to subsidise their feeding initially, you only need to put like a few granules in each of the tubs. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying to James earlier. Like, obviously, yesterday we went out foraging for a load of leaf litter and stuff like that. So I sort of like revamped my millipede tank and basically threw an extra load of rotten whitewood and leaf litter and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
I feel a bit sort of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say sickened, but that's not really the right word. But I don't like going and paying for leaf litter. Because it's one of those things that it's just like, well, for what you're paying for the leaf litter, sometimes for the couple of hours that you can spend out and about just having a daily walk, you can pretty much find enough anyway.
And to be fair, I would normally do that, but obviously with being a bit under the weather and stuff, I weren't really feeling up
of course,
to getting out and about. So you know what? Yeah, that was just lazy on my part. I'll hold my hands up to that one.
Occasionally, I admit the first time that I ever got leaf litter for my first ever, attempt at a dart frog tank, I bought it because I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
But that's going back 2 years now, so it's sort of like I've slowly learned a bit more over the time, and I've done more research into things and found out that you can just go and collect your own leaf litter, really, as long as obviously you're getting it from suitable areas and stuff like that. You've really got no problems.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm quite lucky in the sense that a friend of mine as well, he's got a big oak tree in the back of his garden. So this year, obviously, as soon as it starts dropping, I'm going around a few bags.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that should see me through.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably start doing the same thing, sort of come the end of summer, beginning of autumn.
I mean, I got a bag here with just random bits of moss and stuff that I collected as well.
Yeah,
it's all ready there to go in stuff.
Yeah, so I started doing that. I went and sort of like scraped a load of moss off the base of a few trees up on the little bit where I go walking up here, and sort of laid it all out in the bottom of a tub on top of some substrata and give it all a good spray down and everything else. And then one thing leads to another, it pushes it out of your mind, and I don't think I've sprayed it down for about 3 weeks. It's probably dry as a bone now.
But the thing is, that's the good thing with moss. I mean, it'll dry out, but then as soon as you put some moisture back in there, a bit of light on it, it'll just pick itself back up and regrow.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that stuff. You know, I've got it sat in a bag. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, and I don't
Yeah.
even know what I'm going to put it in. It might just stay in that bag because it's dry anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to mold. So
The point is, you've
I
got
might
it though, isn't it? So it's
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
But yeah, I used to do exactly the same. Like I had a big fish tank that had a load of substrate all across the bottom, and I just laid big clumps of sheet moss and all sorts over it. Just maybe once a month went and watered it and just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And just slowly everything's then been working its way into tanks and being used up.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to.
But yeah, it's always
increase my
handy, you know.
collection.
It's then a nice day out for like you and the missus, or you and the missus and kids, or whatever you want to do. You know, even if you know you're just out walking. I mean,
Yeah.
back a couple of years ago when I first started bringing moss home, I was bringing it home from work. Because originally, obviously, I was out scaffolding, so a lot of roofs have moss on. So that was it. I was bringing home moss from roofs.
That's good moss, that actually. It's in nice,
Yeah.
ready, nice tight
Nice
compressed
plump
flat
moss.
lumps. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's out the way as well, isn't it? From like, you know, a dog taking a whatever on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you've still got the worries of birds up there, but
Yeah, but
it's less likely, isn't it?
Yeah. And every time it rains, it's constantly getting rinsed off anyway. So
yeah.
yeah, no, I do need to get out and do a bit more, gathering a bit more bits and bobs. I just need to sort of get motivation back again. Now I'm on the mend and get out and just do it. Any new developments for your collection, James?
There's one in there. I'm letting him settle in for. Well, I've had him 3 days now.
Okay.
So yeah, it very viv defensive. Like,
Is that the
can't
little
even
one
go-
you put? Is that the little one you put the picture on Instagram earlier today?
Oh no. That's mate, that one. Oh, that was like my first ever snake as an adult. If you
Oh,
like.
right, okay.
Oh, he's absolutely miniature. This one is is a royal. But yeah, like the bloke who had him, well, the family who had him,
Yeah.
they've had it for years, and they said, you know, we ain't never got him out right.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, what? Like, yeah, we just sort of drop fed him, and we fill up his water bowl when it's empty. The water bowl was like so dirty where they didn't like, clean it out and that. So yeah, I've got it now. But he's nosing about. It's, you know, I don't want to get him out. I don't want to stress him or whatever. But
yeah.
And I had a few slings die, so I've just. It sounds bad, but I've like replaced them. I don't like, you know, to do that.
I've lost
really,
a couple this week actually.
Yeah, it's crazy.
On the plus side, after even though I've lost a few slings. On the plus side, my female Monocentropus balfouri dropped me an egg sac earlier in the week, last week.
Decent.
So yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I just caught her up there, and she was sort of in one of her little web caves and sort of really dancing about. So I went over and poked my head in, and she was making a really, really thick hammock at the bottom. So I was like, oh,
yeah, dude.
You know, I paired her up probably 3 months ago now, probably coming up 4 months ago, something like that. 3 months.
Fair play.
And I wasn't sure if it was successful because the male seemed a little bit special. You know, he didn't look like he really knew. Yeah, didn't look like he really knew what he was doing with his palps, and he was trying to poke them in places they shouldn't go. So I wasn't really sure, but obviously at some stage it was you know, you got some quick successful insertions. So we've got the egg sac from the female at the moment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I banged a picture of it up on Instagram. So there's a picture of the egg sac there that, like, sort of, I caught her halfway in. She sort of started doing it, laid the eggs, put a little bit of a cover over it, and then wandered off for a bit before she came back to finish it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I say, fingers crossed that sort of comes to something. It'll be my first time breeding that species. I've never bred them before. So yeah,
So many people are after them as well, aren't they? It's like,
well, literally within like 5 minutes of putting the post on there, somebody was already sending a message asking if they could pre-order some.
no way.
Yeah.
Maybe you could sell inverts for a living.
Yeah, I want one egg sac every couple of months. I don't think it's quite enough to live on.
No, it's not, is it?
I am looking out for it's sort of, I don't know, it's made me feel a little bit better about things. Obviously, lately with work being a little bit crappy and all that sort of stuff, it's those little small things that just make you sort of smile and go, do you know what? Actually, yeah, I feel a bit better today. So I'm looking for I've got a list of a few more mature males I need to try and get hold of.
I seen the list and I was like, yeah. No, I ain't got any. Like,
and some of it's like really common stuff that literally nine times out of 10 when you're looking, you can't move for it, and all of a sudden it's like nothing's out there.
There's an LP on there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like mine's female, like it.
And mine's tiny.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what sex it is yet.
Yeah, this girl is an absolute monster. She's a beast. Probably easily 9.5 to 10 inches leg span, easy.
Yeah, nice.
She's really quite chilled out as well, actually. Like dead placid. She's up in the tank that's behind me at the moment. Although I think she was a GBB in a past life because of the amount of web that she's made, unreal.
Hey, literally, the last 2 days ago, my LP has webbed everything.
Yeah.
Like directly in front of the door as well. And
yeah.
So weird you said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like literally the front. You can't see through the front of the enclosure anymore because it's completely covered in web.
Yeah, that's the same.
She literally to the point where she's turned herself upside down, like webbed up on the roof of the tank and stuff as well. It's just everywhere. Everything is covered.
No way.
But it looks amazing. You know, when you get an enclosure, decent size enclosure that's fully webbed up like that, it looks pretty cool.
Mine's literally done every like patch of soil on the floor, just everywhere. But yeah, no, it looks really nice. It sort of looks like a frosty morning, if that makes sense. It's all like, oh man, beautiful it is.
Yeah.
How weird is that? You just said that. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think the cable for the camera is quite long enough to pull it up there, but yeah, she's pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind finding a lover for her. And then the missus has got a little Neo-Holotheliense she wants to find a male for.
Again, mine's female, and my other one is slaying.
And I've got
mine's with Andy Owens.
Yeah, I've got the adult female Tapenorchenius violaceus as well, the purple tree spider. Yeah. That's actually my son's. He picked that for his birthday. So that's, you know, she's recently molted as well. So it would be really nice if I could find a mature male for her sometime soon.
I don't have one.
And then we've got the T Blondie, the big T Blondie female.
That is a transfer.
Yeah.
I really, really want.
Yeah. It's been amazing watching her grow as well. So I've I've had sturmai and apophysis before and that sort of stuff, but I've only like once before ever kept like a proper T blondie.
Yeah.
And we got her from a friend as an unsexed juvenile at probably about 6 centimeters leg span thereabouts. And she's a good 9.5 inches leg span now. She's put on some incredible size.
What would you say, out of all three of them, the biggest is?
So I think leg span wise, the apophysis is reported to get bigger. But
Right.
very much more sort of longer legs and a bit more spindly. The sturmai has got sort of bigger chelicerae and a bigger sort of carapace and that sort of stuff, and I think they're a little bit more heavy bodied.
Yeah.
So I think the blondie's in between the two. But in terms of size and weight combined, I don't think you can go wrong with a sturmai. It's a massively underrated species. You know,
Absolutely. I totally, yeah.
Everyone wants the apophysis, and everybody wants a true T blondie because it was the original Theraphosa species. But I think just the sheer size and weight and power on the sturmai is just impressive, and they are a massively underrated species.
When mine comes out of his like hide, it sounds a bit like weird, but you can hear it walking. Like,
yeah,
not fun, but like you near it coming, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
They're beautiful. They really are.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just the sheer size of them is impressive as well. You know, when they get to that sort of size, there's nothing quite like when you see big species of tarantulas. You see big like L paras, and you see big like Aeginiculatas and stuff like that, and they're impressive when you see big specimens of them. But they don't compare to they don't compare to Theraphosa. There is just something just awe-inspiring almost.
I mean, the only other thing that I think that gets a nice size that looks kind of cool is the Pamphobeteus or Pamphobeteus, however you want to, you know, the purple blooms and stuff like that. You know, all right, the females don't get quite a nice colour as what the males do when they're mature, but they do still end up with quite a nice coloration on them.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at something like the Pamphobeteus antinus, you know, everyone loves a Grammostola pulchra because it's
black.
It's jet black and velvety looking.
Yeah.
Now you take a Pamphobeteus antinus, and you exactly the same thing. All right, it has a slightly more interesting personality to it than most Grammostolas, but it's that same velvety jet black with the few little red hairs on it. But you know, you can add a third onto the size of it, sort of thing. They are massive jet black, velvety looking spiders when they're fully grown. Absolutely beautiful. The Sericopelmas as well, actually. So the Sericopelma genus get pretty big. They're not far off the size of Pamphobeteus in terms of the sizes they get to, and some of those have got some really interesting colours and markings as well. But yeah, like you say, it is a shame that the males tend to be the more impressive looking out of the two.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people forget about them when they're talking about like the big spiders. A lot of people just generally go straight for Theraphosa or LPs or something like that because, you know, that's the sought after and more commonly known giant tarantulas. Same as like your Aegens. Your Aegens get pretty big from what I know. See, ours is probably about 3 inch at the minute, somewhere about that, 2.5 to 3 inch.
Mine is,
you know, so it's not obviously fully grown.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, everyone obviously just automatically diverts straight to those commonly known ones and real sought after ones. They sort of forget about, you know, like your Pamphobeteus and all that. You know, I mean, even your Comatus, you know, they get to sort of like, you know, not a massive size like
but
what,
a good,
you know,
good
your
7 inches.
Theraposa and stuff like that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you're talking like about a standard spider,
Yeah,
they get to, you know, a nice fair size.
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed, definitely. Rob's just said, you know, hybrids are a
Yeah.
no-no, but could you imagine a combination of a blondie sturmite and an apophysis? That'd be pretty impressive, to be fair. But then imagine that, and throw in some of the colours of a mature male Panthobetea species as well. If you could design your own spider, if you could design your own tarantula, what would you build? What would you put together to make it?
Myself, it would have to have some sort of GBB in it,
Yeah,
but the size of kind of like an LP size, not too big, but
impressive.
yeah.
See, but then I would also think like a Celedonia colours would look pretty cool on something the size of like a blondie or something.
Do you know what? I must be one of the only people that haven't jumped on the T Celedonia bandwagon. They don't do
I'm
it
not
for
a
me.
big fan of them, and I'm still like dreading the price of them, and I still don't feel like I'm that confident in adding one to the collection. But I mean, I'll probably end up getting the other half one at some point.
I just got a soft spot for GBBs. I think they're absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And
we had one. She passed away about 6 months ago. Unfortunately, she developed DK syndrome.
All right.
Over progressively over a few molts, she just sort of slightly got worse and worse and worse until she couldn't make it through a molt after that. Still no idea what caused it or anything else. I mean, we don't use any aerosols around them. I've bred my own food for them for God knows how long. We only ever feed them roaches, you know. So there should be nothing coming in that's got parasites on it or anything like that. She just, I don't know, she just developed a bit of a bit jittery, and then successively over the next 2 molts, she just got worse, and then just passed away. And we've not been able to replace her yet, unfortunately. But that was my missus' pride and joy. Her personal favourite, next to HMax, funny enough, is a GBB.
That's a hell of a jump mine, isn't it? From
Yeah.
Christ.
I think we now have 5 GBBs now.
Wow.
All variation in sizes.
You want to get rid of one, you know.
Yeah, you know, same here. I'll take first.
And like I say, one of them just turned up in the GIMP box, so it only has
came
6
with
legs.
a mask and
Oh yeah, Rob, that's a good combination.
Panama, yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, it's all about the iridescent and metallic colours. So things like the LSD Earth Tiger, the Chilobrachys species Electric Blue, that iridescent and metallic sheen that you get, you know,
like
especially with things like that, you know, especially with things like Poikilotheria miranda, that sort of iridescent purple sheen that you get to them and stuff like that as well. They do it for me.
Hello, Robbie.
Hey, Robbie. Yeah. So I would have to throw in the size of a Sturmai or an Elpara or something like that. But it would definitely have to have some iridescence and some metallic color into it for me. Yeah, and then make it arboreal as well. Just to mix it up even more, make it arboreal.
Christ, imagine something like that big arboreal.
Can you imagine the size of the tank that you'd have to have it in?
Oh yeah. And then just to make it even better, a species that is absolutely perfect to keep communally as well.
Like a Balfouri sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah. It would
I
be
mean,
like a
12
flaw.
of these, like,
It'd be like a flaw
12
to
of
see
these,
in
like,
community
12
setup,
inch.
wouldn't
And it only ate like veg, not like
it?
really weird.
Yeah, dangling a carrot on the end of a pair of tweezers.
But yeah, imagine that. Ribboned carrot. Come on.
Just open the door and let pigeons fly in. You know, it can eat them.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think you'd have to release geese in there. I don't think a pigeon would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you say about like big species of spider living communally and stuff like that. The old school legend about the chicken spider. Do you remember that one?
No.
So the Panther species, Aranopoeta, it's a big black species of Panther that were rumored to like live communally and hunt as a group, almost sharing meals and stuff like that. I remember way back when I first started getting into a hobby, there was a bloke that wrote an article on them for the BTS, and he reckons that he actually observed this happening in the wild of like this group of them, big adult jet black Panther size spiders that were all like sharing a chicken and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that would be quite impressive.
You wouldn't want nothing that big to be quick though, would you? Like
No. Yeah, it's one where you like open the lid of the enclosure and get dragged in.
Yeah.
Like a scene out of Arachnophobia. It's like the general out of Arachnophobia. Just
The thing, I've got a soft spot for Little Pumpkin Patch.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, underrated because of how small they are.
Yeah,
You know,
I was very much the same. Yeah, very much the same. I didn't rate dwarf species at all. But actually lately, I've been looking at things like the Syriacosmus elegans and stuff like that. I'm thinking, I really want one.
Yeah, mate, they're super cute. Like,
yeah,
I got one. Have you ever? I don't know what the scientific name is. A pygmy fireleg.
Yeah, yeah, I've got two of them.
Aren't they just absolutely adorable?
Yeah.
Like they're stunning. They really are. What else have I got dwarf? There's a few. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you ever forget, like when like you're feeding everything? It's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this. Where it takes so long to go around it.
Yeah, especially with the stuff that I've got in Exoterras at the moment. So the stuff I've got in the 12x12 Exoterras, because I've got a unit that fits those in perfectly. Whereas everything else is all in one place. Those are kept somewhere different. So sometimes I have to remember to go and feed them. Goldfish have growth hormones. They grow to the size they're kept in, and they're not good for feeders, for predatory fish. But you think tarantulas would be feeding them? I don't know. I reckon somebody should do an experiment and try it.
But you didn't hear that from here.
No, absolutely not. Although you say that, I know people that have kept the Hysterocrates gigas, the Cameroon red baboons. I know people that have kept them in a semi-aquatic setup because they will actually like swim, dive, and fish for food.
Yes, I've seen that before somewhere.
So yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, there's a few videos of them on YouTube. You can find them. People have done semi-aquatic setups, and they will actually actively go and hunt fish in water.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook about that earlier, actually, that someone had set up like a little pool with a filter and a couple of little guppies, and apparently he's caught him like looking at the water, like trying to eye it up a couple of times, but
Yeah.
hasn't actually taken a dive in there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got that really fine, velvety, specialized hairs around their body, so they almost trap a layer of oxygen, so they can get in the water and like proper dive deep into it without any issues at all. A bit like the way diving bell spiders work.
Put themselves into their own little bubble, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty
fascinating,
impressive.
that, isn't it? I still think there's a lot out there, like in the world, that we don't actually know about.
Yeah.
No. That's the thing, is that, you know, a lot, even like the species that we're keeping now of anything, you know, we've taken it as what word of people that have been out there, but you know, they don't spend every last waking minute of every day of 365 days a year, you know, watching this animal, or, you know, so we're just taking from what they've learned, you know, and we're now slowly learning and finding out new things throughout hobbies.
Yeah.
Because, you know, not everyone's going to know how to keep everything straight off, are they?
No.
Have you seen them bowler spiders?
No.
Did you say boner?
No. Maybe.
Sorry, I haven't seen the comments. Have you seen them? Oh, bowler. Sorry.
Bowler.
So I'm
Wait,
Googling
boner?
I don't know. Is there a boner spider?
Okay. So from what I can see from what I've just googled them, from what I can see, they're a small species of orb weaver.
Oh, right.
And what they do is they use a little line of thread with a glob of like sticky silk on the end of it to like basically throw at their prey and catch them.
Basically, Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The spider version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The original.
Rain on Google.
Hey, how else do you learn? If you've never heard of something, you got to look it up, haven't you?
Yeah.
And where is the best place to go for it?
Absolutely. Always Google.
You know, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunate. Nowadays, we're able just to sit in our own comfort of our house and look for something rather than have to go down to the local library.
Do libraries still exist anymore?
I believe
know.
I
so.
haven't seen one for years.
I mean, I think they're still there. I just don't think they're used quite as often.
Hmm.
I think it's more just for people on job seekers to go down and use the internet.
Stand outside for the free Wi-Fi line. Waiting for their gyro to be. Oh my god. Funny times.
Those are the days, having to read up on things rather than just sit there in your own home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's made the world a much smaller place. The invent of the internet and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah,
Clever,
everything's accessible at the tap of a thumb now, isn't it?
Yeah. And even if you can't find it online, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to find someone that knows something about it.
Yeah, yeah. Come on. Come on.
I think I've got some mozzies flying around in here. I've just been bit on my arm.
Hey, boy.
Good.
Oh, so what have you guys got on this week? Pretty much just working through.
Yeah. Got some rehousing to do. I got a ride tomorrow. That's it. You?
Cool. More the same as today, really. Just more work. Need to find an afternoon or an evening or something when I can get out and do a feed and a clean and a water on the snakes.
Yeah.
And
Do you
that'll
use
be it
paper
then.
or substrate in yours?
So depends on the species. For the royals, I use paper. So basically, like chip shop paper, the stuff that they wrap chips in at the chip shop. So I've got tons and tons and tons of that. It's really hygienic. It's simple to just pull out and chuck away and get rid of. But for the species of rat snakes, milk snakes, and all that sort of stuff, they're all in bioactive substrata.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's mostly down to the fact that they're a little bit rat snakes, milk snakes, king snakes, and stuff like that are a little bit more dirty. They don't lay a nice little solid poo the way a royal does. It's a little bit more.
They sort of do it, but drag it with them, don't they?
Yeah, and they smell worse as well. So they need the higher levels of humidity to assist with the molting, like with the shedding and stuff like that as well. So,
you ever kept a blue tongue skink?
No, I've never kept one.
Yeah, don't. Talking about poo. Oh my god. Oh wait,
Yeah.
what? You've been the inside of that glass? Look at this. Bang! It's like a wiper. They just. Oh my god. And then they look at you like, sort that out, will you? You're like, what the?
Yeah.
Imagine back in time, what would you invent this?
I'd invent the wheel.
Yeah. I reckon I'd the spoon.
Yeah, good shout. Multi-purpose utility.
Yeah. I reckon the spoon's incredible. I don't know why.
So I would take it a step further then, and I'll steal your idea, but I would go with the spork.
Do you know what? Look what I was just getting out. Only the Doctor Who one, right?
That's pretty smart.
In a box. Yeah, Spork is. Come on, is there a better invention out there? Sliced bread. Batteries are pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that you can take power with you is.
Yeah. Portable power.
Well, I suppose everything's a good invention because otherwise we wouldn't have it, would we? Wet wipes. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
How do they not dry out? It's amazing.
It's something we'll never know.
Yeah.
There are some things I look at, inventions, and I'm like, why?
What's the point?
Like, I can't think of any offhand now, but like, yeah, this is.
I don't know. I'm sure someone's probably invented like portable toilet or something that isn't very good.
Yeah.
You don't think it's very good?
Well, I imagine there probably is some pretty good portable toilets out there, but like a lot of things, you get your cheap knockoffs that aren't normally so good. You sit down on it and busts underneath your ass. Next minute you're sat in your own.
Way, and you're sat there in like your pants, like, hi. That would suck so bad.
Middle of the park.
Tanya just said, what inanimate object could you not live without?
A chair. Because all three of us, everyone probably right now is sat on one.
Yeah.
Imagine just standing up for like, what, 2.5 hours like this has been on for, like, bum that. That's long, mate.
I don't know, probably a mattress for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show.
See that can double up. It's comfortable to lay down on when you're tired, but you can also sit on it, so that doubles up.
Multi-purpose.
Mm.
Then again, the car's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, we'd be knackered if we didn't have one of they, like.
Yeah.
Everyone's still on horseback. Going down like the motorway, like, come on.
Yeah, it made trips to Doncaster and stuff a bit of a pain in the ass, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Just leave a week before you're supposed to be there.
Well,
More than a week, like, literally.
I don't know how it would work with having to tow like some of the big things that we do nowadays. Could you imagine it with like half a skyscraper towing down the road behind a couple of horses?
Mm.
Or dragging a plane down the runway?
Yeah.
A couple of huskies and horses.
Tanya just said everyone would have a sore bum.
Yeah. Yeah, why is it riding a horse? Like it's not comfy, is it? It takes a hammering, doesn't it? Like you're up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
And if you catch that motion wrong, you end up sitting on something and it is not nice.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you got some dodgy fruit salad going on down there, like, oh it's not good. It's just a mess.
Oh no.
Not only that, they do take like quite a big shit as well. So you know, clearing one of them up is, you know, you can't really walk around with a carrier bag behind it, can you? Come on.
No, he's a bit on the messy side, isn't it?
You need like a bin liner. Oh, yeah, imagine that. Years ago, though, it was just left, wasn't it? And some guy would run out of his life with a shovel and nick it.
Yeah. Or I'll go on my garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're going to put that on your food? Why? Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, Victorians. Like, I was watching a documentary about them yesterday. Man, they were clever. They were clever. Weird, but very clever. We went, you know, majority of the stuff that we got today, if it weren't for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I must admit, I do like history.
Yeah, I hated it in school, but
yeah,
the minute I left, I was fascinated with it.
I pretty much hated everything in school, to be fair.
Especially PE. Oh, what was that about?
Yeah.
You know, the amount of times since I've left school I've used pi. You know, what a waste of time that is.
See, now that's probably one of the only things. Obviously, when I first like left college, because I went to college when I was a youngster and did carpentry and joinery. So, like,
Yeah.
maths is probably one of the few things that initially leaving be used more than anything else.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, I found that with scaffolding that, you know, your math sort of improved quite a lot because
Yeah.
you were working with numbers like every day. That, all right, most of it was quite generic, and as long as sort of like you knew your 9 times table, you were pretty good.
Yeah.
But obviously now we're working with wood, it is sort of like you start getting used to like adding things, and before you know it, you're adding stupid numbers that you didn't even think that you'd be able to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think our architecture, old ancient architecture, is one that really stands out for me. I mean, you think, you know, some of the things that human beings created two,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6,000 years ago, without the technology to be able to, you know, carve stuff up and move massive slabs of rock around the way we do now, is pretty
Look at
impressive.
Stonehenge. Like Stonehenge, that I mean, wasn't the rock from Wales?
Yeah, apparently so. Like, it's just type of granite that's only found in like one small
How
part
did
of
they
Wales
get
and
it
stuff.
from there to here? Like the Severn Bridge one there, was it?
Oh,
Like it's fascinating.
that is pretty
Do you think
impressive.
that they sat there with like another stone and was like chiseling out a blueprint on it? And every time that they got blueprint wrong, they were just throwing this stone away and restarting again.
Yeah,
Flint.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's all they did apparently to transport it, was just use tree trunks just to roll them along, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you think like there must have, well, there obviously was more forest and stuff like that, so they would have to keep stopping to cut down to move.
Yeah,
You know, because they were really wide, obviously. So
yeah.
you think how long it took and how far it is. Oh my god! And why did they do it there? Why not in Wales? What was so significant about that area?
I mean, who decided to do it in the first place and just thought, you know, we live in this perfectly nice area. Let's go 300 miles that way to see if we can find some rocks.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then we'll
And
bang
then
them in
bring
a
them
shape
back.
that will just confuse everyone in years to come.
You know, but
I think
still,
it's mint.
yeah.
That's because no one actually tells you that if you break them open, that there's aliens inside and they're just waiting to be taken back up.
No, I reckon they're full of Smarties. See, you just chisel away on all these Skittles and Smarties. And...
Well, they do say on the Skittles advert, "Taste the rainbow." You know, maybe it's
Welsh
true.
rock.
Yeah.
The pyramids as well, like that.
Yeah, people have done some crazy things throughout the years, haven't they?
Yeah,
you look back and you're like, what were they thinking? Why? I wonder if like in another, you know, 8,000 years, somebody's going to look back on the things that we've done and go, what the fuck were they thinking?
This little box with a window on it heats food really fast.
Yeah.
They're probably going to look at that and be like, what is that?
when they can press a button on the worktop and it does it for them.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you ain't even got to take it out of the box. A little armor come out and just do it for you.
Yeah. Well, be like you seen The Fifth Element, haven't you? You seen the movie
Yeah.
Fifth Element? Yeah. They just take that little pill, put it in the microwave, press a button. 3 seconds later, a full roast dinner comes out. You're like, wow, that's what we need.
They would probably just eat the pill and be like, "Oh, that was so nice. That was a da-da-da-da." It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Or by that time, people that are smoking vapes, they just put it into a vape.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and eat and smoke all day long.
Yeah, probably more than likely. I mean, they're pretty close to it now, let alone like in a few.
Well, that's it. They've got all the tastes there, haven't they? So
Yeah.
Rob's just been like, in 2,000 years, they'll be like, what the fuck's a crumpet?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't exist, will they?
What are the holes for? I asked to soak up butter, that is.
Wait, what's butter? You're like, wait, what?
They did what? They took what from cows and they did what with it?
what is this cow you speak
Let
of?
me get this straight. Used to play with a cow's tip. No, not tip, but you know. And then milk comes out. Oh man.
By that time, it would be that Meet the Fockers moment where he says he can milk anything with nipples.
Oh, Nan, come here a minute.
That's not right.
On all fours on the coffee table. Anyway,
Someone's always got to lower the tone, haven't they?
I said it. You were just thinking it as well. I just said it.
Oh.
Please tell me you were thinking it.
Yeah, but thinking it and actually saying it out loud are two very different things.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have that filter. My brain's like, say this, go on, it'd be funny, you know. Do you ever say something and go, I reckon oh wait, that was me saying that. That was my voice.
Yeah.
And it's too late to
Yeah. Like, I should not have said that.
Then imagine if the world actually comes out that we're all like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Mm. We ain't never
There's
gonna know
always
though, are we?
No.
Just die off and get reprogrammed and get put back in.
But there's those people in it that have said like, oh, I've been here before and I was this and I was that.
Yeah.
Reincarnations and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's what they say. Like, that's what they say. Deja vu is basically, isn't it?
Hmm.
You know, is that when you believe that you've been somewhere before, people believe that that's not because you believe that you've been there. It's because you have actually been in that situation before, and you have actually seen it. So, who knows?
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, problem is you start thinking about all that sort of stuff, and you keep thinking about it. You keep thinking, you end up going down some mad rabbit hole in your own head. It's mental.
I literally was doing that, and I was like, "Wait, come out of there. That's dark."
Well, that's it. What if there's like a twin universe or something?
Yeah.
You never know, do you?
Just think back to my younger days, you know, when you used to do silly things and, you know, smoke things that you probably shouldn't be smoking and stuff like that, and think, if I'd had those thoughts back then,
I'd be knackered.
Kind of understand now how people later in life end up a little bit tapped.
It's just these ones that walk down the road going, Jesus is alive.
Oh
Those are the
God.
ones that you've got to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the most deluded out of the bunch, aren't they?
When they knock on the door, I look through the window and wave, and then they like look, and I just sort of hide behind a curtain.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
10 minutes anyway, isn't it? It's
I had a pair of them that used to turn up without fail every week. Now, like I say, not so much in school, but I like history now, and I quite like religious history. I'm not massively religious myself, but I do like religious history.
yeah.
So this couple that turned up, who started I invited him in. Come in, sit down. Let's have a chat about the inconsistencies with the Bible. Let's have a chat about the contradictions between the Old and New Testament.
Let me just move this Ouija board out of the way a minute, and yeah, take a seat. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
mine
Like paranormal, I do you know what I mean? It's I don't know. Is it a thing?
I think it
what,
is.
like watching your fingers on the voodoo dolls and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh,
Maybe not that
Not
sort of stuff.
necessarily
but,
like
you
that,
know,
but like
you
ghosts
speaking in
and stuff
terms
like
of like
Mm.
spiritualism and like life
Yeah,
after
yeah,
death.
yeah.
sort of
Paranormal
stuff.
activity.
that.
Yeah. So my wife's a practicing pagan, so she's very much into that sort of spiritual, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I've had experiences that I can't explain in the past.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, as much as I'd like to say that I was a die-hard scientist and all that sort of stuff, and you know, if you can't physically prove it, then it doesn't exist. I think there's so much about the world we live in and stuff that there's just, you know, we'll never really be able to explain everything away. And I think you'd be ignorant if you denied the possibilities of it.
Absolutely. It yeah. Will we ever know? I don't know. I doubt it.
Not in our lifetime.
No.
You know, if it comes to that sort of stage, then you're probably, if the world's still around, then maybe 10,000 years from now, you know, you might have a slight more, you know, insight
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that still no, but you'd probably have a little bit more of an insight than what you do now, because obviously there's
Yeah.
people that say, you know, that they've been there on death's door and they've come back and stuff like that, and they've seen it all. But you just never know, do you? You don't know how truthful that is, or you know, how gospel of a word that you can take from that.
Yeah.
Because without like rigging them up to some sort of machine or something that then sees it, you're never going to know, are you?
That's true. That's very true. You know,
Going
and then
back to
it
like
boils.
go
Go on, James.
going back to like the Bible and that, like that's contradicting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like, oh man. Have you
Well,
ever
see,
read it?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Wow, it's something different.
I mean, for me, I think it's. I mean, if you look at the history of how the Bible was actually put together, you know, I don't think you can put too much stock in something that was sat down and presided over by a bunch of blokes in a room who decided what should and shouldn't go in it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, if it's supposed to be, if everything in it's supposed to be the truth, if it's all the true word of God and all that sort of stuff, then surely everything should have been included, not just the stuff that conformed to the way that that group of people at the time individually thought and felt.
It was wrote by some sweaty men in a dusty tent. Just
Well, I mean,
It just doesn't-
if you look at the
Now,
history
what
of
were
it, I
those
mean, if you go, yeah, I'm just going to say, like, if you look at the history of it and you go back to like the Gospels, for example, and they were supposedly almost like the diaries of the people that were around at the time.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
back to a time. You're going back to a time where only a very, very few people could actually read and write anyway, and they generally tended to be religious scholars and stuff like that. So those individuals probably wouldn't have been recording their own diaries. This would have been stuff that they would have sat down and told to somebody else, who
Yeah,
then
that's right.
probably wrote it down in their own words. It's been translated from a dead language that doesn't exist anymore, using loose translations and all that sort of stuff. So do we really know that any of that stuff really happened the way it happened? They've proved
How do we know
that some
that
of
they
them.
can just sit down with Kama Sutra and read that and then think we need to make something ourselves?
We could just put the two together and what a mess.
Well, that's kind of basically what they did with that last
Yeah.
movie that they did with Mel Gibson in, wasn't it? That was a little bit, for a film that was supposedly about religion, there was a little bit of naughty stuff going on in that.
It was a soft, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you get some of the die-hard religious sects and stuff out there that they really weren't impressed with that when it was released.
Absolutely. He was good in it, I will say that.
Yeah.
But
was it The Passion of Christ it was called, wasn't it?
yeah, Passion of the
Something like
Christ, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is it says, like, somewhere in there, God has given you your life, it's your life, you're in control, or something like that. It's worded differently, but then it says, like, basically, like, not in these words, but you have no, like no one's in charge of you, like you are your own boss.
Yeah.
But I read somewhere once that the word Bible, whether or not it's true, I don't know, stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah.
So it's basically like an instruction manual on how you should live your life.
I mean, and that's exactly it. I mean, if you take it for what it is in terms of that aspect, instead of looking at it like a historical text that tells the story of individual people that lived back then, and you look at it from that perspective, it is a series of stories and fables and all that sort of stuff that have all got a moral to them and stuff like that. That actually is just a guidebook to teach you to live your life in a good way.
Yeah. And a bit about Noah with that boat. I'm sorry, how big is a bloody boat to have two of every animal?
Yeah.
Like, but then surely, like, if you had, say, like a lion on there, obviously that lion is going to eat something. So what happened to that?
No, he just put his hand in front of it and said, "No eating animals," and that was it. He listened.
Yeah.
Where did the fish go? What? Just flapping about the floor, were they?
No, just the odd occasional bird flew past and he just fed that to him instead. I've got two of you, you're fine. Throw you in. Or maybe it was all the witches. Oh wait, they come later on.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It is quite mad how you. That's it. You're like when you look back at sort of like what people have wrote and what people has been documented throughout the time. Sort of like you look at it in this day and age, and you think
you were never going to get away with that.
No.
One thing that's always got me is your parents always told you never lie, it's bad to lie, etc. But I'm sorry, Father Christmas, the Bogeyman, like
Yeah.
What is all
Yeah.
that about? Oh, there's a little fairy that comes and collects teeth from your. What the? She's got a key to every house, like. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tiny little fairy, massive bunch of keys with her, like. Oh my
Well,
god.
she's just coming through the post box.
Yeah.
You what?
She's coming through the post box. Doesn't need
Maybe.
keys. She's that small.
All right. What about Santa? You know, if you've got an electric fire, like, you know, he goes down the chimney and then what? He's stuck behind
Yeah.
that little bit of glass, like, oh no.
See, I asked that question when I was a kid, and I got told the same thing. If you live in a house that doesn't have a chimney, he comes in through the letterbox.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be some obese man that only eats mince pies and drinks. His calcium level must be ridiculous.
See, he's not really
Not even
fat
that,
and
but then-
obese. He's just big boned. Just big
He's
bone
big
for all the
boned.
calcium.
You know,
All them fat
how would you
skeletons
post
I
all the
see.
presents
Yeah.
through the letterbox?
You what?
I said, how would you post all the presents through the letterbox?
Well, this is it. You know, magic. He shrinks down really small and then grows on the other side.
Either that or he's got a bloody good aim to get around the corner.
Well, what's that
Oh,
film
that's
with all the
so
little people? I can't remember now. It's all the
Huh?
little people that live in the walls and stuff.
Oh, the
That's an
borrower.
old. Yeah, that's the one. Does he like that? Does he like pass everything through
the
to them?
borrowers.
Is he friends with Tom and Jerry? Like, just, not only that, but how could you go to every single person's house in one? You're not gonna do it. Come on. And why reindeers? Why didn't he? Why didn't they pick someone like someone that can actually fly, like a bird? Like, oh my god.
Like eagles. It's like saying that he delivers them all on the back of a dragon.
Not only that, but where's he storing all of these parcels? Like, how big is that sleigh? Back of that sleigh's like Mary Poppins handbag, isn't it? It's just keeps going.
Ben, there you go.
Maybe Mary Poppins and Santa are the same person.
Yeah.
Just floats around on a little umbrella.
I have a
Yeah.
question, but I'm not going to say it because, yeah. I guess we'll never know, will we? We will. It's crap. That's what it is.
Yeah, sorry, Tanya.
Whoops.
The secret is out.
I mean, the Bogeyman, like, they could have come up with a better name.
Yeah.
Read that last one.
Harry Potter's real team.
Oh yeah,
Harry.
have you not seen? Have you not seen like the platform that you go to? Okay, you can't pass through the wall like Harry Potter does, but
Yeah, but the amount of kids that have tried, I tell you what, it is a way to spend a Sunday night. Just watch it. It's brilliant.
Just watching idiots run at a wall. Brilliant.
Sort of like look around before they do it. Like, is anyone watching me? Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
I must admit the
Well,
films
is
were
that-
pretty good.
Have
Say
I not
again?
been able to cast any magic then because I've not actually got his wand? Is this what you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, things don't work unless all of a sudden I meet this Harry Potter and I steal his wand.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, do you know what? I love stuff like that though. It's a bit of an escape from reality.
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and all that.
Oh yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean, just
Yeah.
incredible.
yeah. I am a massive, massive sci-fi and fantasy fan.
Yeah, all the way.
Well, I went and watched Avatar when it was first released, and that
It's
seeing it
mind
in,
blowing, that, isn't it?
I thought it was, yeah. The amount
It
because
won't
obviously
for me.
because he had also waited something stupid like 5 or 10 years or something for the CGI to be correct or up to scratch, wasn't it? Before he actually released the film, because like he had wrote the script, but he never felt that the CGI was up to scratch for what he wanted to do with the film.
Yeah.
So it was
I
just
heard
one
that.
of those. Yeah. So obviously I had quite a lot of high hopes for when I went and watched it, and I didn't feel that it disappointed myself when I watched it. I mean, I did watch it, like I say, the day that it was released, I was in the cinema, sat in my big premiere seat with the 3D glasses on.
See, I never saw it. I never saw it in 3D. I reckon that must have been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But supposedly they've been saying about doing a sequel to that for God knows how long now.
I know, yeah.
You know,
But it's probably going to be the same sort of thing, that he's waiting for the CGI. I know that, you know, what we can do now is pretty good, but that's to our eyes now.
Yeah.
You know, if he could see something back then that could be better in 10 years' time, then he's probably going to do the same sort of thing with this.
Yeah. Where would you go from here though? I mean, they've already got like crystal clear, ultra high definition, 3-dimensional stuff that makes you feel like you're really in the room with it. I mean, what's the next step from there? Is it going to be interactive movies?
I don't know.
Stuff
I mean, maybe the only thing that they could do possibly is like go like 4D, if you wish, rather than 3D, and you have it sort of like surrounding you almost, and you feel like you're actually stood right in it. I know 3D is pretty good, and like you do feel like you're actually there, but you know, if they could then take that one step beyond that, and that basically you put on like a set of goggles almost like you do with, you know, some games and stuff like that. You have all your virtual reality stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
I didn't know whether or not maybe then that's like a next step, that you put a virtual reality set of goggles on, and you know, you can actually, when you're watching the film, you could actually turn and look at something behind you maybe, and then look back. Even though the script's still going in front of you, you might be able to turn and see like a soldier behind you if you're like stood in a lineup or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like an IMAX or anything like that?
No.
No.
Like the screen's all the way around you, so you're like turning around and like if they go in like a bakery, you can like smell. It's so weird. Like, it's pretty good there.
No, the only thing close to that I've done is I went to America, and this is going back a good few years now, but they done this is like I say, when first 3D was only just coming out as well, like back years and years ago. And I went and watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids thing, and you literally sat there with these little goggles on, and occasionally you got sprayed by some water, and all of a sudden this smell would come up in front of you, and it was like that sort of thing. And you'd be sat there, and all of a sudden, like the dog would come over, like running past you, and you'd get sprayed because like the dog's saliva was coming down on you. You're like,
yeah, that's decent.
That was my very first initial like seeing of 3D and along those lines, and what that'd be about 18 years ago now.
Yeah.
You think what it's like now?
I know.
Crazy, isn't it? Technology has just taken over the world, hasn't it?
They said he was 7 when he was watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park when it came out, that first Jurassic Park when it came out was like way ahead of its time in terms of the CGI and the animatronics and stuff. That was awesome. I saw that in the cinema.
What is that?
What's that?
Someone's
Sounds like a chime.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
loud.
Got wind chimes at the back door. The dog's just gone out the back door and knocked the curtain, which has knocked the wind chimes.
Oh, it's like terrible feedback.
Come on. All right, Fen, come on. In you come.
What dog is it? Okay.
Say again, mate.
What dog is it?
He's a German Shepherd.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's a pain in the arse, German Shepherd.
Yeah, we got a little Jack Russell like that. Found out today he don't like skateboards. I don't know if you've seen on my Instagram, but
I did see that.
he was just barking at it, and I'm like, what? Like, it's a bit of wood. I think he wanted to play on it. Like.
Yeah, just responding to Rob. I am 37, 38 in a few months. Getting far too close to 40.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've still got a couple of years. I'm 32.
Okay.
Same. Don't look it, do I? Certainly don't bloody act it, I tell you that.
Yeah. I went for probably up until I was about 35, and I looked about 10 years younger than what I actually was. And then for some reason, the last few years, everything's just gone tits up, and the hair started going grey, started creeping a little bit further towards the back of my head.
Well, it's nice to know I got that to look forward to, I guess.
I actually got ID'd in a shop. I was like, really? Yeah, apparently their rule is if you look under 30. But I mean, how can you tell normally with a face mask?
The person IDing you is like, just left school, and you're like, mate, I'm older than you. I'm like,
yeah.
Can you not tell that?
Yes, I have an unlimited supply of coffee. I don't function without it, and the missus just keeps refilling my cup every time she goes out into the kitchen. So
that is a keeper.
She's a good girl.
Oh,
she's a good girl.
Thought you just were Harry Potter for a minute with, you know, you just waved the little wand next to you and your cup refilled for you.
Now that would be a pretty cool invention. A self-filling cup.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool though, wouldn't it?
But yeah, she's got to be a good lass. She puts up with me, to be fair.
Yeah, mine's the same really. I sort of look at myself, I'm like, sod that. Like,
I wouldn't do it.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
If I lose so much, she knows where it is. I'm like, where's that? It's over there. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, Rob's just asked how old we are, James.
32.
He missed it. Exactly the same, 32.
How old's Rob?
And now the suspense is on.
Oh.
No, Fen, you're not going back out. Go on, go lay down.
Yeah, I don't get any of that down here. The dog's not allowed in the spider room.
Yeah, we don't really have much of a choice. The spider room is the living room and the dining room, so he's got to come through it to get out.
I had to put a baby gate on this Bremere so he didn't come in it. Oh my god, buying one of them, mine? Oh, is it a boy or a girl? I'm like, yeah, it's a boy. Oh, right. Is it born? I'm like, yeah, it's 4. Like, sorry, this is for a dog, not for a child. What?
See, this is a problem. He thinks he's a lap dog. He's trying to sit on my lap here.
Glass. How old is he?
Just coming up to a year. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still a puppy, really.
Mm.
But he's nearly 30 kilos of German Shepherd. He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, and potentially still got another just under a year's worth of growing to do.
Yeah. Do they molt much?
Yes.
I thought they would.
Yeah. I mean, he's a short-haired shepherd as well, so it's not quite as bad as a long hair, but yeah, he does. Yeah. And it's constant all year round, pretty much. So he sheds.
They got really nice coats, though, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. Sheds his winter coat at the start of summer and sheds his summer coat at the start of winter.
Mm. Imagine if they were like snakes, just done it in one lump. You'd be like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah. Do you know what? I could live
with it.
I could live with
another dog. Huh?
It's a bit like that when you brush him. You know, you give him a really good brush down just as he's molting, and the pile of fur next to him is almost as big as he is.
Sell it as wigs, you know. Yeah, there's a little earner there for you.
Start stuffing pillars with it.
Yeah, ain't no one gonna know, are they?
Yeah, organic.
Until the post come through the door and then it jumps off and runs towards the door. You're like, what?
Could you imagine them being like spiders though, and just stepping out of an exoskeleton?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
Just leave a perfect replica next to him. Like.
Still stood up. Like.
Maybe that's what stuffed dogs are, really. And no one actually knows.
Nearly 3 hours.
Yeah, I was just looking at the time. I think I'm gonna have to call it a night soon. I've got an early start tomorrow.
Yeah, I reckon I'll do the same.
And I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I could probably do with getting my head down.
Well, thanks for joining.
No, it's my pleasure. Like I said, I'm sorry I had to work late and miss the beginning of it.
Ain't your fault, is it?
Nah.
You didn't miss much. We were just chatting about. What were we chatting about, Tom? Food. That was it.
Food, okay. Yeah.
Good subject.
Chicken, chips, and tomatoes for some reason.
And quiches.
And quiche. Oh, what a horrible word.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, it's my turn. It's my turn next week.
Indeed.
It is indeed.
But yeah.
So next Monday over on Wayne's.
Yeah. So I won't be working late next week. My handover takeover should be done and dusted. So I will be free as a bird. But no, gents, thanks for having me again. Enjoy the rest of the evening, all that's left of it.
You
And
too.
see you later, everyone.
Adios. See you
worries.
later, mate.
Guys, bye bye.